What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Floyds Brewing Company, and they're out of Munster, Indiana, and this is their Alpha Klaus, the 2023 release. So they're calling this one a Christmas porter that comes in at, I believe, 7.3% alcohol by volume, 67 IBUs, and at the time of review, this bottle is approximately 2.5 months old. So full disclosure, I've had this one once before, back in early 2018. It was the 2017 release. I drank that one a couple months before I started this channel, and I enjoyed it. It kind of came off as like a black IPA meets an American porter, and when you read the little spiel here on the side, it makes sense. It says, Alpha Klaus is Alpha King's festive cousin. Yeah, totally makes sense. A big American Christmas porter brewed with English chocolate malt, Mexican sugar, and of course, tons of strange American hops. So as far as the ABV and IBUs go with this one, the reason why I said I believe it's 7.3% alcohol by volume and 67 IBUs is because that's what they say on the website, and I'm going to believe them because it's their website. There is no ABV on the label as far as I could see, and I absolutely love when it comes to Floyds, their labels are fantastic, but there is no ABV on here. Now on Untappd, it says 6% and 38 IBUs. On Beer Advocate, it says 6%. And a couple random other websites that are like selling the beer say 6.7. I'm going to choose to believe this is 7.3% and 67 IBUs, but if it's 6%, whatever. It is what it is. I just wish breweries had to put ABVs on labels. It's just crazy to me that that's not a thing. Shout out to Joe over at Joe's Arcade because he agrees. He occasionally will rant and rave about the same thing. I'm using the Great Lakes Brewing Company glass because one of my favorite American porters is Emmett Fitzgerald. So I thought, hey, let's pour it into the Great Lakes glass. So yeah, this kind of is like a black IPA or like a hoppy porter, say. What I remember of it anyway. I don't know what I rated it on Untappd. I don't remember. I just remember having it. I think I gave it like around maybe a high 3.75, low 4, something like that. Didn't blow me away, but I thought it was pretty good for what it's supposed to be. Anyway, that looks absolutely phenomenal in the glass. Like that pour and the way it looks, it's a very dark brown. On camera, it's going to be pitch black. Dark brown, lighter brown hints here at the bottom. Hold it up to the light. Yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful. Again, this has just a picture-perfect kind of American porter look to it. A finger of a straight-up brown-colored head, super creamy looking. Just looks like a beautiful porter. Let's get a nose. Yeah, so it definitely has a black IPA vibe. First thing right off the rip, there's a piney spruce kind of note from the tons of strange American hops. And it's weird because it's mixing in and it's giving me like almost that like Thin Mint cookie kind of peppermint bark, just because it's almost minty. It's almost piney and sprucey turning into mint. So maybe that's why they call it Christmas porter. I never really thought about it. But yeah, almost like a Thin Mint cookie or like a peppermint bark. There's a lot of like rich, deep, dark chocolate. There's a roasted, not quite roasty, it's more toasted, like a toasted malt, like a darker toasted malt. So not quite like roasty and like super charred or anything, but definitely noticeable that the something going on with the malt that's roasty and toasty. There's a touch of like a coffee, a little bit of molasses and maybe caramel. A very slight touch of like a dried fruit, maybe like a fig or a date. Yeah, it smells really nice. It kind of reminds me, they say Alpha King. Another thing I would say is if Celebration from Sierra Nevada was like a black IPA instead of a fresh hop IPA, it kind of smells like that. I mean, in a porter form, right? So yeah, maybe it's because I'm really enjoying old school beers over the past 5 years since I had this one, almost 6 years because I had it in early 2018, that I can honestly say this smells better than I remember it, but you know. Anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Here's the thing, though. This is what I would say about this one. It's nice. It's real nice. It's not mind-blowing or anything. It's just a very well-made, like, hoppy porter. The one issue I'd have with this, and again, it's how much do you cater to people who know what they're picking up and to people who are blindly picking stuff up. If I knew nothing about beer and styles and just I saw this label, I was like, oh man, I like porter, say. Like that's what I know. I like darker beers, I like lighter beers. And you see Christmas porter and you grab this. I think you'd be disappointed, perhaps. You're thinking maybe it's a porter with like Christmas spices or seasonal spices or something. But I would think it's just, it's a porter released around the Christmas time. This definitely drinks like a black IPA or a hoppy porter, something in that realm. It's definitely not just I don't know what the hell a Christmas porter is, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know what, stylistically speaking, that is supposed to be. So I think if I was picking this up blindly, I might be a little bit disappointed, but I really like the taste. The body of this one at 7.3% or 6, I would say this is definitely in the medium, a touch over medium body, so it's appropriate. If it's 6%, absolutely beautiful body. If it's 7.3, it's appropriate. So either way, they're good there. The mouthfeel, it's a little bit softer and creamier than I anticipated. It has a moderate carbonation to it, but it does have a little bit of a softness, but it's more smooth and creamy. It's a really nice mouthfeel. I really like the body and mouthfeel of this one. The taste, again, the nose follows suit right up front. A lot of that chocolate, that English chocolate malt that's giving me more of like a dark chocolate, like a 30 or 40% cacao bar. So there's a little bit of sweetness there. There's a touch of caramel molasses. There's a roasted, toasted malt character, touch of a coffee roast, like a light roasted coffee. As it passes through though, the fruit hits a little bit. There's like a dried date, fig, raisin, something in it, like a dried date or a fig, or maybe into like the raisin realm, something like that, but not over the top, but definitely there. Maybe even a little bit of like a citrus kind of rind or zest as well. As it continues through though, the pine, spruce, minty thing hits. And that's where I'm starting to think again, thin mint, peppermint bark. But it's not like that candy cane nitro that I reviewed from Left Hand or something trying to mimic like a mint stout. It just has that naturally from the hops along with the malts. It's producing a very slight thin mint cookie, peppermint bark kind of finish. It finishes moderately bitter, maybe a touch over. Yeah, a touch over, moderately bitter. Has a semi-dry finish to it. This has nice sweet kind of malt sensation at the front of the palate, but it definitely dries out and bitters out on the finish. By the time I'm done with this, probably going to have a substantial lingering bitterness from it. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice beer. I'm glad I picked it up and reviewed it. It's the first time I've had it in almost 6 years. And I do like it better than I did back in 2018. But I don't love it. And truth be told, black IPAs aren't my thing. I'm not calling this a black IPA, but hop-forward darker beers, whether, I've had some crazy, basically, like Storm King from Victory to me is like an Imperial Black IPA or like a super hop-forward Imperial Stout. I like it, but I like it with age on it because the hops die out a little bit. I would love to age a bottle of this for like a couple of years and just see where it's at. Dumb down the hops a little bit, let that malt come to the forefront. I think this would be fucking even better for myself personally, but I could see a lot of people picking this one up and being like, yeah, that's hitting the spot right now. And it is kind of hitting the spot for me, just not to the level that I'm thinking that people who love this beer, not anywhere near what they're thinking. So yeah, 7.3%, a little bit of warming into my chest, nothing else. So I do think this is probably closer to 7.3 than 6, just based on what I'm feeling in my chest and into my stomach. But yeah, this is nice. And I would highly recommend somebody picking this one out. If you like Alpha King, definitely give this a go. If you like old school, hoppy porters or stouts or black IPAs, this would definitely be in your realm. So Alpha Klaus, a 2023 release from 3 Floyds. I'm going to give this a high 4 out of 5 and go 4.1. I think that's a fair score. Like I said, I gave it probably like a 3.85, 3.9. I like it a little bit more than that. And that rating would reflect my newfound enjoyment of this one. So yeah, and I love the label too. Like this label's superb. Anyway, price point availability in my neck of the woods, $14.99 a 6-pack. I think I paid, I want to say it was like $2.59, $2.69 for that bottle. That's fine. 3 Floyds, usually around their 6-packs are usually in like the around here $14, $16 range for stuff like this. I think like Zombie Dust is like $14. It is what it is. I would not think twice paying, $2.59 or $2.69 for that bottle. Not at all. And availability is 3 Floyds. Used to be super hard to get going back, 5+ years ago. It was just, crazy that, people would trade for Zombie Dust and all kinds of crazy shit from 3 Floyds. And now Here in the Western New York area, Buffalo, New York area specifically, it's kind of a shelf turd. Like you'll see zombie dust on the shelves that, 6 months old because people just will, walk right by it, which is insane to me. I never thought I'd see the day. But that's good for people who enjoy this and enjoy their beers. You can just, walk into your local beer store if they have distribution of it and just pick it off the shelf and not have to worry at all. Think twice about it. It's fantastic. But I don't know their distro. I'm sure if you go to their website, you probably can find out more information. I just know here in the Buffalo, New York area, we get their stuff. And I'm happy we do, and I like trying them out. And I've reviewed, I think this is the second beer I reviewed from them this year. Definitely got to sprinkle in a few more reviews next year. But I've reviewed a lot of their just regular beers, so maybe if they have some interesting seasonals that I haven't gotten to, like this beer, I'll give it a review. So anyway, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it, whether it's a prior release or this year's release. And here's another thing I didn't think of. Maybe they changed the recipe at some point. Maybe it used to be 6, and they bumped it up to 6, 7, 7-3. Maybe it's something that changes every year, the recipe. I have no idea, because I've had this beer once, so I can't speak to that. So if anybody has any more information, description box. You can't post there. I can. I'm in comment box. Am I hammered? I am not. Am I talking too quickly? I am. This is Beer Patrol. Don't ever watch me in 1.5 speed. You won't understand a word that I'm saying. Or maybe you will. I don't know. Anyway, to the next one. Cheers.